I got something cool to talk about.
Your world
Hello, it is your boy Gaby, back here again from Bad Neighbor Supply Co. and Light Designs. Hello, great to see you. Today is a very special video because last night we just unveiled our first Bad Neighbor Custom Templar 250 Adventure Package. Oh no, oh geez. We should have practiced this. Congratulations on your new bike! So in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the similarities and differences between a normal Templar and the work that we've done to make this the Bad Neighbor Custom Adventure Package. Now, if you would like to get this Bad Neighbor Custom Adventure Package Templar 250, there is an email address down in the description of this video where you can send a message and order one for yourself. Our shop is located right outside of Las Vegas, so if you're in the Las Vegas area or a surrounding area around there, we would be more than happy to build you a bike. This particular Bad Neighbor custom bike is built off of the Templar M. So this is a 249cc 5-speed. We have a 21-inch front wheel with inverted forks. You have a disc brake up the front, which feels great. This is a really good disc brake. I use this brake on my own personal bike and I really love it a lot. Now you may notice the front mudguard is a little bit more rounded from the normal Templars we sell. This one has a little bit more of a rounded concave to it, which I think looks cool and fits the build better than the angular ones. Now this rounded mudguard has a little bit of a secret to it. Oh my gosh! It's bright outside right now, so you might not be able to see too good, but this package comes with rock lights. You have rock lights of the color of your choice. This particular one has green. There is rock lights in the front mudguard and in the undertail because we are in the desert and you want to be able to see rocks and wilderness beasts as you're out in the middle of nowhere. So I'll show you how the switches work in just a second, but there are rock lights that can be turned on and off while the bike is off. So if you're in a survival situation or something like that, you can still see what's going on around you. The Adventure Package also has all kinds of great storage options. This is a removable tool bag or first aid bag, whatever you want to put in there. That's your preference and your business, but you have it right here. There are little tiny ratchet strap type things that go around the headlight bracket to be able to hold those on, which I think is really cool. Also with the Bad Neighbor Custom Adventure Package, you have these really cool dual pod lights. I love the way dual pod lights look and they work in conjunction. Sometimes people wire them to just one as your main light and then the other one comes on for high beam, but these have both high beam and low beam integrated into them, and they have a metal guard on here. If you crash, you won't break the glass that's behind. Now these are halogen bulbs. These aren't LEDs. And these are the only bulbs on the bike that aren't LED. Every other light and turn signal and everything like that is LED, but to keep a like retro mod feel, we felt it was important to have actual halogens in here. So, and they do unscrew this way if you ever need to change your bulbs. While we're on the topic of lighting, a big focus of the Adventure Package is for this bike to be a bike that you can confidently take out into the desert and survive for a long time, both in the daytime and the nighttime. You may or may not know this, but this may sound silly, but the desert is really, really dark at nighttime. Like, insanely dark. I know that kind of goes without saying, but it's kind of hard to fathom how dark the desert is in nighttime. Without actually experiencing it. So we have these super, super cool lights on either side. These lights are incredibly bright. And something that people also don't talk about in the desert is we get a lot of fog. This particular part of the desert, we are almost 3,000 feet above sea level. Where we ride our motorcycles on a regular basis is like 11,000 feet, really high up. So we have a lot of clouds, we have a lot of fog, stuff like that. And you need to be able to account for that if you're out in the wild. So if you press the switch down, you have insanely bright yellow fog lights that are also accessible whether the bike is on or off, in case you are in a survival situation where you need to prop up your bike and actually see what's going on but stay quiet for animals or whatever. For those nights out in the desert, you have unbelievably bright just white lights, which are these are very wide beams, and you can light up almost 180 degree surface right here with these guys, and it's surreal because it opens up like a little kind of vortex of light. Very cool lights. I really like this a lot. I'm really proud of these. And with extending the width of the front forks, obviously we had to modify your plastics. So we've modified the plastics to be able to account for those, and so they're gapped on either side, so when you turn your bars you don't have any scraping or anything like that. It's close, but they don't scrape, which is cool. I'm very proud of figuring out the plastic gap and figuring out all that stuff. That's really cool. Normally cafe racer style headlights like these go on these brackets that go around your forks, but because we have inverted front forks that are super beefy and can handle big jumps and handle really aggressive trails, that doesn't work. So we've hand fabricated this headlight bracket that comes off of, there's two 8mm that comes on that are attached to the top of your triple tree, and in the center of that is your turn signal module, your turn signal clicker, but in between the turn signal clicker is these two 8mm that go to this metal bracket that we've welded and fabricated to house your extensions, to hold your lights, and then also hold this really cool windshield. To keep everything sleek and retro modded, we obviously had to do something different for the turn signal. So up front you have really bright, super cool looking button LED turn signals, and these are not just any button LED turn signals. Obviously we had to do something cool that matches the rock lights. So if I click it on for you and then turn it on, you can see you have bright green turn signals, and these are super bright. Really happy with that. Push to cancel just like any other Templar. They work normal. Since we're back here, let's talk about the triple tree and your dash. So you have your key down here, just like other Templars and XPRO products. It has a snowmobile or jet ski style key, which if you're in deep mud or water or something like that, it keeps your ignition nice and dry. Adjustable handlebar clamps on this one. So this is set to a taller person, but if you wanted to come back, you can also use the ones from behind a little bit. Don't think I mentioned this, but you have adjustable forks where you can adjust the rebound and the preload and all that stuff. These are at the stiffest setting, which is great. I personally like to ride everything as stiff as it possibly can be. This bike is a little bit softer than what I personally ride because it's meant for long haul adventure stuff. But the front forks are set up the same way as the ones that I use for all my big jumps. Just like the rest of the Templars, you have a compression lever style choke. So when you want to start the bike, you hold down this lever for a few seconds and that acts as your choke, and then you let it out and the bike warms up the rest of the way. I wish more companies would do that. I think that's a really cool way of doing things. You have a cable clutch, which feels very nice. We did aftermarket grips on here to make it a little bit more comfortable for long haul rides and heavier riding. I'm not the biggest fan of the stock Templar grips. I feel like they're just not that comfortable for hard riding. So we went with something that would be a lot more enjoyable and also look old school. So these look like old waffle grips, but they have the benefits of a modern grip. Here is your lighting setup. So if we press this one down, that turns on your rock lights, the green lights that are in the fenders. We push this up, that's your super bright desert lights. You press it down, that's your fog lights. All your normal headlight controls work just like any other Templar. That's your headlights on, headlights off, high beam, low beam. Everything works the way it does from the factory. It's just we've made it better. To start these bikes, there is a cool anti-theft measure, just like any other Templar, where you hold down the front brake to start it. A lot of people don't know that. You have a quarter throttle, which is super aggressive. I love this throttle, and it's windowed so you can see if anything is going wrong in there. Dashboard is the same as every other Templar, where you have a digital dash. It shows you your battery, shows you your RPMs, and there is a gear indicator. You can see your headlight, high beam, low beam, and you have a check engine light in case anything's wrong. We'll start her up for you here. Kicks right over. And this is both electric and kickstart. So if you're in a survival situation, you have an issue with your battery or anything like that, you can kickstart it. And we designed this bike to be run without a battery. So all the amenities that you have with lights and all your cool underglow and everything like that can run perfectly fine without a battery completely. I personally don't run a battery in my bike because that's just my own personal choice. And I wanted to build something that if you are in a survival situation in the desert and you needed to take your battery out and use it to start a fire, or if you had some kind of an issue with your battery, that you would be good and be able to enjoy the same amenities that you are used to just without a battery. A difference from the normal Templars that we sell as well is this has a fuel reserve. Down here, you still have the same bend back shifter. Just like all the other Templars, your right foot peg does not have a spring and your left foot peg does, and that's to account for the Kickstarter. You got passenger foot pegs on this one. The gearing on this bike is very, very torquey. We sell this one with a skid plate and we color match it to the rest of the bike. The Templar M normally comes with a more comfortable seat, and we've used it here. We went with the stock Templar M seat because it is more comfortable, it's a little bit longer, and can account for a passenger. So if you want to put a passenger on here, I like this seat a lot. It feels really nice. You have a back storage rack back here, so if you want to load up your bags, load up whatever you want to put in here, and you have these additional storage pouches on either side of the bike that you can put tools, you can put sandwiches, you can put whatever you like in there. What you put in there is your business. And speaking of increasing your carrying capacity, you have two 1.3 gallon fuel tanks back here, or you can use one as water, one as fuel. You could use one as chocolate milk and the other one as transmission fluid. I don't know, whatever you want to put in here, that's your business. I'm not going to ask what you're carrying in your auxiliary gas tanks, but I would recommend probably gas. You have two of them here on either side. Now, an issue that we ran into with building this bike is normally on a Templar, your rear turn signals go out from either side of your plate. But we have these fuel tanks back here which make it impossible to put those. So what did we do? We modified the rear plate section to give you the same matching button LED turn signals that you find up front. And just like the front ones, it works normal like it's supposed to. Push to cancel. We have the exact same gearing and disc brakes as any other Templar. You have an 18-inch wheel in the rear. This is a really nice tire that comes with it. I love the stock XPRO tires a lot. They last for a really long time if you're not doing burnouts all the time like I do. I've had my own personal Templar for almost 3 years now at this point, and I've never put air in my front wheel once. And the only reason I've put air in my back one is because I do a lot of burnouts and I had to change my tire. You have the stock Templar exhaust, which sounds great. It has a good amount of pops on deceleration, but it's not too loud. So it's loud enough to enjoy, but not too loud that you're a nuisance or you get a headache riding, which I am personally not a big fan of loud exhaust on motorcycles. I like to stay quiet. Disc brake in the rear. You have the black swing arm on this one, which is so cool. I love the black swing arm. You have the exact same exhaust that is on most of the Templars. You have the kickstart right here, and then like I said, this one does not have a spring, so it stays out of the way. Now this has a little bit different of a rear brake setup from other Templars. You have this Allen bolt here to adjust your brake. You have a little bit different of a rear brake lever right there. You also have a slightly different carburetor and air intake from other Templars as well. This carb is nice. It all works the same, but it is a little bit different of a carb. Your engine, your transmission, your cylinders, all that stuff like that is the same as all other Templars. We run really high grade, very, very nice 1040 in all of our bikes as well. So yeah, that is a little walk around with some of the things that we've done to this bike to make it the Bad Neighbor Supply Co. adventure package. There are quite a few more things on this bike that I'm sure I'm forgetting right now, like how every single light that we've added or every single modification that we've added that involves electricity, we've put a redundancy fuse off of the battery onto it. So if you have anything fail, it's super, super easy to track back the wires and find out what's failing. You can easily bypass the fuses if you wanted to, although we don't recommend it, but if you're in a survival situation, you could build a jumper real quick. There are so many redundancies placed into this bike to be able to survive for many, many years in, you know, some of the world's harshest climates. We live right outside of Death Valley and it gets pretty wild out here, and so having all these redundancies in place are super important. Yeah, there are just countless things that we've done and tons of stuff that I'm probably forgetting, but this has been a super enjoyable build and I'm excited and looking forward to building a bike for you. Get in contact with us and we'd be more than happy to build you one and send you out on your own adventure. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this Templar down in the comments below, and is this something you would pick up? Let me know. All right, bye guys.